Call me Michael Jackson. It's going to be a quiet live today, I'm afraid, because I just got loads of copyright warnings for listening to music the other day, even though I had permission to listen to the music. So it will be a quiet one. But the chat's disappearing when I didn't even get a chance to read it. Oh. Hi Rose. Halted of the time for you, Rose. Mind numbing. It's the tying is the worst part, but it's the most essential step, so. I don't understand why the messages are disappearing. They wasn't doing that the other day. Don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to work this out properly. This way of tying as well is more, what's the word? It's harder on your fingers. On these fingers, when you're trying to tighten it, the way it rubs against your fingers is really not nice. Yeah, the chat messages are disappearing, so if I do miss your comment, I will come back to it after the live. Thank you, Chris. This chair's well creaky. I have work tonight, but I was really hoping this would be finished by today, but I forgot how hard the tying is on this one. So, everyone waiting for the tutorial, this is the black belt of blankets. This is DEFCON 5. Normally I have music on. Yeah, so usually if I'm live on TikTok I can have music. And Facebook you can have music that you have permission to listen to. So that when I was live the other day, I have permission to listen to Rough Trade and M60, but YouTube still gave me copyright warnings, so. I have done this one before in exactly the same colours. There is a video of it on my channel. I think it's the one that I named Can I Get a Million Views? I don't want to interrupt your lovely work, but yes, I found them even a bit like... The messages disappearing before I even have a chance to read them. That's ridiculous. A bit like the moves from Karate Kid. I like that. I don't like that these messages are disappearing. Don't know how to sort that out. No, I don't want a green screen. Maybe it's something that you do when you're not live. I have no idea. But the messages are disappearing before I even get to finish reading them. My live the other day lost me 1 subscriber, so I must have offended somebody. What can you do? Can't please all the people all the time. Hi in Australia. The blankets are all made to order. I take orders on Facebook and Instagram, so usually they all have an owner. I made a few blankets for the makers markets, but they're pretty much all gone now. I've got 2 left which are being raffled on my Facebook page. And then this one, I'm just making it to make a tutorial because people have requested a tutorial of the design. So I'm going to keep this one, add to my collection of blankets that I don't need. I don't even need any more blankets, but you know, you can't have too many blankets. Try small first. Good practice as well for then when you make a large one. I know people who have got halfway through a large one and just give up. Somebody sent me a picture of their sister's frame. She'd built a huge frame in the garage and she spent all this money on yarn and then she did nothing else with it. So he stuck a canvas to the frame and painted a giant portrait on it. Ozzy here too. Hi Stacey. My husband made me cat blanket size one to start struggling to get the tying done. Yeah, there's no way around the tie. I mean, you can do a continuous knot, which is faster, a little bit faster, I suppose, but I don't trust a continuous knot because if you catch the thread, So a continuous knot is, for example, I don't use one anyway, but you would tie it through there and you would knot it, and then this piece you carry on with the same piece. It's not cut in between, but you do that on the opposite side to where you're going to cut, and you need a shuttle to tie that way. But then if that thread catches and it snaps, then that's holding every single pom-pom together. Whereas if every pom-pom's tied individually, and then say that tie snaps, all I'm going to lose off this blanket is that pom-pom. The rest of the blanket will be fine, and then that can be fixed. Like, you can make a little pom-pom to sew on there, or you could even make one of a different colour to show that it's been mended. I mean, some people like that sort of thing, some people don't, but it's kind of like when you put patches in your jeans, in your ripped jeans, but it would obviously be a different pom-pom. I just think that would be a nice idea to do. But I've never had a blanket lose a pom-pom. I've never had a tie snap. So yeah. I've had that snap though. When that happens, you need to go right down the yarn, cut it off, get rid of the weakened part. I'm just going to do like an hour, maybe not even an hour. See how I feel. Because what time is it? I have work tonight. Probably already said that once. Need a microphone for like what can be there, near there, like right near there. And then I can do the ASMR stuff that people ask for. But we need a microphone right on top of my hands because it's not that loud really, is it? The yarn sounds and the snipping sounds. Too strong. After you've done a load of tying, put your hands in cold water Just fill a bowl with cold water though, like cold, not like room temperature, like cold. Just stick your hands in it for like 30 seconds, and that's it helps with like the next day. Sometimes your fingers can hurt the next day, or your hands can swell if you've done too much tying and you're not used to it. I remember once I finished 4 blankets in 7 days, and on the 8th day I couldn't move my fingers. It was horrendous. The pain was horrible. Never done that since. No problem. Hear that wind? It's cold in Manchester. I do like the pom-poms on this design, but when it's just like that, obviously not that side, the other side where the knots aren't, that's my favourite side on this pattern. But you couldn't just tie it and leave it as it is, because that's just a blanket full of holes. Waste of time. The pom-poms kind of block up the holes, so if this was any other pattern, it would be tied and finished by now. This one takes even longer than the sunflower design. That's another nemesis of mine, the sunflower blanket. It takes forever. I like coming up with these patterns that take forever and then torturing myself with them. I actually have more patterns in my head, but they would take even longer than like this one, so I'm not even going to bother. Because you can't charge for something like that. How can you charge for something that takes 30 hours and then you've got to charge for materials as well? Like the scarf I made, that took me 3 months. 30 hours, yeah. Not this one. I mean, this one's more than 24 hours, but this one's about 26, 27 hours. And this one's got to be like 18 hours in-ish. Yeah. I'll leave crochet and style your technique. Do it as cot blankets. No, I don't think a triangle loom would work because each side has to have something to marry up to. I could be wrong. Circle looms work, so maybe a triangle loom works like a circle loom, but I don't know. Hexagon looms are a thing as well. Let me show you. Show you what you can do on a hexagon loom. I do have a picture somewhere. Instagram makes pictures disappear. I don't know why I wouldn't just keep them in the chat. I don't think I have a picture of it on my phone. Can probably Google one. I mean, that's the hexagon loom. That's a small one, that's not what I was looking for. I don't know where the picture of the one that I had is. You can do flowers and stuff. Enjoy these videos. Thank you. But yeah, that's... So hexagon looms look fun, but I have enough looms, so... And I don't have anywhere to put a hexagon loom. Like this one just stays here against this wall because it can't be put away. When people say, oh, I'm going to make one that I can fold up and put away. Well, when you make a folding loom and then you put all this wool on it and you add all that tension, guess what the loom's going to do? It's going to fold up on you. So I don't recommend making foldable looms, but each to their own. If it works, well done. Because even when you're not adding any tension, as soon as you start tying it, you're adding tension. Like this one's really tight and it's not nowhere near finished. And the problem with this design is, on my other designs you can release the tension. So if your frame's starting to like make creaking noises and you're getting a bit worried that it might warp or snap, you can start to cut pom-poms on the area that's tied. So I could cut all the pom-poms like there, all of that area, to release the tension. But on this design, because you're only cutting half of these, you're not cutting a separate layer, it doesn't work the same. It might release a bit of tension, but I doubt it's worth it. I've only got patience when it comes to these. Everything else I'm stressed. I'm sorry if I've missed any comments, but they literally are disappearing before I get to read them. What size will this blanket be? 170 by 140. So whatever size frame you have, that's what size blanket it makes. Some designs do pull in a little, you know, when you're cutting them off the frame, but the tassels give you an extra like 4 centimetres, so they compensate for that pull-in. Letting the cat in. So yeah, whatever size frame you have is what size blanket it makes. So if you want one for a king size bed, what covers the pillows and droops down the sides and all that, you need to make one bigger than a king size bed. So mine covers everything but the pillows on a king size bed, but it doesn't droop over the sides. I didn't want that. I didn't want them to do that. I have toyed with the idea of making a bigger frame, but the problem with a bigger frame is bigger prices, bigger wool amounts. So like half of me is like, is it worth it? And for me, the blankets are big enough. I don't have a super king size bed or a California king. So, I mean, for me, they're the right size. It's in my house. This is the dining room, but because nobody ever used the dining room, like ever, they just used to dump the stuff on the dining room table. I just took over, claimed the room as mine. This frame is 170 by 140 or 68 inch by 58 inch. So on a king size, all the videos are on a king size bed, but then some blankets have more pull, more give. Some blankets have more stretch, some blankets have longer tassels, so this design doesn't pull in at all, so when I take it off the frame, it's not going to shrink at all, so it will look slightly bigger than some blankets. Like, let me see if I can show you. Well, I can show you because they're all over my phone. So that is a king size bed that they're on, but if you look, they don't hang over the edges, don't cover the pillows. That's the check design, but then you've got, I found one with longer tassels. So this one's got much longer tassels, hangs over the sides, looks bigger. It's just because the tassels are longer on that design. Let's see, on the sofa. That's on a 3-seater sofa and a bit on the puffy. So for me personally, they're big enough. I don't think they should be any bigger. You don't want them dragging around. Like if you was walking around wearing it, because people do that, you don't want it dragging on the floor behind you. You don't want them catching and pulling on things. Because they do pull. You can pull them quite easily, but you can pull it back. So like every pull can be fixed basically. But yeah, you do have to be careful with them. They're not indestructible. Thank you. This one, how many skeins? This is, so I bought 75 and I've used about 67. I mean, out of 75, that's what's left. But that will make a baby size. So I'm going to make a baby size with it, a matching baby one. want to put music on, but then I don't want to get these warnings for copyright. Gonna have to like go through the music library and see which songs you can use or what you don't have to attribute the songwriter, creator, whatever, because there are some. Especially if I'm going to do more YouTube lives. I mean, it's not bad when people are talking and you answering questions and stuff, but when it's silent, it's a bit strange. My nose is so itchy today. That means I'm going to have an argument. Congo is beautiful. Hello in the Ukraine. I'm making dinner, just watching. Hi Kim, how are you? Making dinner? Are you back in the Emirates? Five more years. You've got your frames and stuff out there though, aren't you? Unfortunately, no. Oh. These gaps are getting so tight. Two strings, and then you're threading it through. So through, see the X, through the top and the bottom, through the top and through the bottom, and then this short piece you're taking it through again. So this is the ombre tie. This is how I tie the ombre design. And then you're gonna tie it. And you're gonna grab it like this with, so you've got one string there, wiggle it, stop, now wiggle it, and then tie it. Probably gonna get a copyright warning for that now. And then cut it off. Cutting it really close as well. That's how you tie these patterns, these, when it's not got a square layer on top, or if it's the ombre, or if you've only got two ways to tie through, that's how you tie it. If you've got four, you tie through all four. I mean, these do have four, but the knot would be too big if you did that twice. because it's smaller pom-poms. And these, so this design has twice as many ties, which means twice as many knots, which means you could get away with doing just a single tie because the tension is spread evenly. So it's not going to be like, they're not going to snap because the tension is spread out over the whole blanket, over every knot. And if you're going to be making them often, when you come to cutting your pom-poms, make sure you're wearing a mask because you don't want to catch COPD from all the microfibers, microplastics, whatever else. It's slightly dangerous. I mean, I did the first 3 years of making them without a mask, so I've probably already done the damage, and it's probably too late to start wearing masks now, but I do have masks now. FFP3 mask is the mask that you need, the mask for microplastics. Let me show you. I never thought about it, and then I got high blood pressure. I got diagnosed with high blood pressure, and there's a link between microplastics and high blood pressure. So my doctor's like, no, it's not that, but my doctor doesn't know that I've made about 65,000 blankets. So you need this mask, it needs that filter in there. FFP3 they're called. Yeah, fingerless gloves. Do you know, I've been looking for some and I couldn't find any, so I cut the fingers off just a pair of gloves and then they started to fray and they were black gloves, and as I was tying I noticed there was little bits of black fibres getting tied into the blanket, what was coming off the gloves. So I only need to tape my fingers up for this design, to be fair. Like I said, if this was any other blanket it would have been tied ages ago, but this has twice as many ties, twice as many cuts. So, and my fingers are not sore under these plasters, I'm just protected. Look, that was good, wasn't it? They're not sore under there, that's just to make sure they don't get sore, because I wrap the wool around the same 2 fingers all the time. Definitely need to do ASMR. I need a microphone to do it. Like, one what has its own stand would make it easier. I've been asked before, like, TikTok's really big on ASMR videos, but then the type that they have is like people like making weird noises with their mouths and like tapping on things, whereas there's not that. Mine's like the same three sounds over and over and over again, but it's worth a try. You have to find a microphone though. I've done it when it's just snipping the pom-poms and then that's just like snipping sounds. But the video wasn't that popular really. My first video was the fast forward video. Time-lapse videos. It's funny because the time-lapse videos are really popular, but then they bring out all of those people that are like, so like this morning I woke up to so many comments. What's the point of this video? You're just trying to boost your own ego. It's no benefit to us. When I'm confused about something, I research, I go onto the channel, I watch more videos, I start to look. I watch the video to the end, see if there's any end screens. But my videos, it's just people who just write nasty comments. Like, so I reply to them. Try watching the video to the end before writing comments like this. And 9 times out of 10, they remove their comment. But this literally is the generation of hand me everything on a plate for free. I don't want to do any work. Half of these people would have me just come to the house and make the blanket for them. It's like, I don't understand what people get out of being rude on videos. Especially if you've not watched the video to the end. Like on tutorial videos, the amount of times it happens is unreal. The start of a tutorial, if it's not slow motion, if it's not in real time, you can't hear me speaking like this, it's not a learning video. And the learning videos are in a playlist called tutorials, and every tutorial starts with telling you how much yarn you need and what groupings you're going to use the yarn in. And then I'll get comments like, but how much yarn did you use? How many strings are you using? And I just think, you've clearly not watched the video. So I just write the answers in the video. Like, and that probably seems rude to people, but when you get that 200 times a day, it's annoying. It's annoying that people don't want to do anything for themselves. Like, I'm literally giving you the means to make a blanket. And you just don't want to do the research. I've had people comment, send me the link, but you can't put links in keyboard in YouTube comments, can you? I don't think that you can, but I'm not going to do that anyway when you can go on my channel and I literally have 2 playlists and one of them is called tutorials. If you can't click that and find that playlist, I'm not going to find it for you. Generation of trolls, true. Hi Mexico, good morning. I like the sound of the wind outside. It is very windy. Brave when they aren't face to face. Yeah. I just don't know what people get out of it though. Like, if I watched a video and I thought it was pointless, just move on. You don't have to comment. You can watch other videos. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You don't have to spread nastiness. It's like having a crochet pattern in the description box, but nobody can find it, so yeah. I mean, I can't crochet, but I've seen that. I have seen that. I think most of them are people who can't, like, if you're ignoring the crochet pattern, they probably can't understand it. Like when people say to me, I wish you would write it down, but I don't need to write it down. I've made you an explanatory video. If you can't follow that video, that's not my issue. Like, as bad as that sounds, that's not my issue. If you can't follow my explanation, then you need to find someone else who can explain it in a way that you can understand it. But I get lots of comments saying how well I explain things. But then there's like, you get the odd person. I think people just don't listen. I think they just want you to do everything for them. I really think that some people are just that lazy. What I do like though about my followers and subscribers, I have noticed that if they see hateful comments, they will jump on that person and say like that it's unnecessary or they don't want to listen. They need to see it written down for them. I'm not gonna sit and I wouldn't even know how to write it down. How? I don't know how would you write that down? It's impossible. Like if I said tie onto your corner nail, even if I said tie onto your top right corner nail, someone would put which nail? I think there is no way to write it down. You would have to be in like an actual book with diagrams, and ain't nobody got time for that when you're not getting paid to do it. And like I say, it's nice to be nice. If you've commented on 10 videos, I can't follow this, I need it wrote down, I'm going to ignore you. I see all those comments on all those videos because I get notifications. That's what people don't realise. I think people think you're not reading the comments, but I literally try to answer everyone's comment. It would be so difficult to understand. I understand you get visual learners, you've got kinesthetic learners, and you've got auditory learners. I feel like my video caters to all type of learners. Personally, anyway. So, audio means you learn by hearing, visual means you learn by seeing. The video is showing you and I'm telling you how to do it. Kinesthetic means you learn by doing. I can't do that for you, so I'd rather watch and learn. I can't understand written instructions. Yeah, I get confused with written instruction. Videos are perfect. You literally rewind and pause. Rewind and pause are your best friends. This is a really old technique. I didn't create the technique. My sister used to make baby blankets before she had kids of her own, in the basic like pom-pom square pattern. So I saw her do that, and then when we got put into lockdown, I just decided to make a few baby blankets out of boredom. And then I decided I wanted one for myself, so I made the big frame. And then the video of that blanket went viral, so I've kind of been doing them ever since. It was all like by accident, but I started doing different patterns. First I used to draw them, So I drew my frame exactly as it is, like with the same number of nails and whatnot, and then drew patterns to make sure it would translate to the frame. But it's basically geometry. You just draw in with yarn. It's like spirograph, but it's not a circle. And maybe using the spirograph way is how you would fill a circle loom, maybe. Getting battery warnings now. See you later, Kim. Have a good day. Enjoy your dinner. You are the first I see making it. So satisfying to watch, especially when you cut the yarn. Lots of people get that get nervous when they see me cutting it, especially if they've not seen it before. I get that comment a lot. There are lots of people on YouTube that do it. There's not many doing it this size. The ones that are doing it this size, I think, are because of me. I think. Might sound a bit big-headed to say that, but there's lots of people making them baby size. Lots of people making them on TikTok. And apparently there's lots more popping up on Facebook. I've been being told every day, more and more people, more and more pom-pom pages are popping up. Bringing back the older ways. And it won't do any harm, will it? I've got a bit of a knot going on here. Time is it? 12 o'clock. I'm gonna go and make something to eat. And then I'm gonna tie a bit more, but I won't be lying. And then I'll have to get ready for work. Sick of this snapping. Because I did weights in the gym yesterday, I've got stronger. That's what it is. Strength of a bear. So yeah, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna charge up my iPad, I'm gonna eat. There is a raffle on my Facebook page to win a giant blanket. When you get to choose out of it's this design but only 2 colours, blue and white, or the blanket with larger sunflowers. The winner also gets to choose a hoodie. The raffle is not free though, the numbers are £3.50 each. Shipping is included anywhere in the world, so head over to my Facebook page and have a look at that. I do have a tutorial on making a loom. You have to cut the edges unless you can loop it off. I've never looped it off, I always cut the edges. I think it looks daft with the loops. My grand was a visual learner, but I had learned to crochet from written instructions and then translate. So yeah, anyway, I am gonna go. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll be live again, maybe tomorrow.